All right. Bruno Guimaraes, £75 million transfer progress made. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is the name and the channel is Rokani Media Football. So please do the needful and subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner it is. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After doing all that, go ahead and obviously put out a very big smash onto the black button and hit the notification bell. When you hit the notification bell, it will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this story. As it said, it's gonna be a big Bruno Guimaraes week. So the news of Vinicius Jr. has gone ahead to come in through and obviously created some little bit of havoc in here for you. But let me tell you one thing. The side of Arsenal is very busy and big transfers happening, but that of Bruno Guimaraes looks closer than any other. Zinedine Zidane has gone ahead to be unveiled as the manager or national team coach of France. And then I think those are the two stories that you're obviously going to be breaking down in here for you. Now, for Jakobsben, he has gone ahead to obviously write a very long article on TalkSport alongside Alex Crook. And this is what they've told us this evening, that Arsenal are now in advanced talks with Newcastle over Bruno Guimaraes. TalkSport understands, although Newcastle have denied formal contact. TalkSport understands progress has been made on a verbal agreement north of £75 million in there for you. So this is a very huge move in the right direction, because if there is progress on the £75 million and north price, I tell you, the promise or the optimism that this deal will obviously be announced this week looks like is coming closer and closer and closer. I tell you, this mighty club of Arsenal wants to strengthen their midfield, and there haven't been bad blood between Arsenal and Newcastle, and Arsenal went ahead to obviously sell Willock to the side of Newcastle. You remember? Joe Willock from Arsenal to Newcastle, first loaned there. He was first loaned there, and then the deal was made permanent at £25 million. Now, this is the difference. Arsenal knew to it that Joe Willock is really that player that is homegrown, and he was like, yep, we are making profit. £25 million are not bad money for us. But Newcastle is teaching us business, that even if you have a homegrown player or a player that you purchase at huge money, you have to make sure that you sell that player expensively. Because for Bruno Guimaraes earlier, we had stories that at £60 million, Newcastle would let their captain go if they never qualify for the Champions League. And that is not anywhere seen in the negotiations, because that was maybe a verbal agreement. You understand? And it would have gone to take us back to what Arsenal was with Gyökeres and Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon coming out and telling us that, all right, what Sporting Lisbon has gone ahead to do is simple. They had a verbal agreement that the player would leave for, is it 60 million euros in there for you? You understand? And it was just verbal. But the agent was like, it was written down, and to an extent that the agent cannot do something verbal like that. And maybe they are playing a game on us and they're like, let's raise more money. We can, They dragged the situation on, not until I think Arsenal paid, was it £68 million for Victor Gyökeres to come in through and obviously kick a ball for them. So, never trust these agents and the players. The agent might be like, Newcastle, it's supposed to be 60. right? Let's drag on to 80 because I've held conversations with them at 75, 80. They are willing to get this player, So let's drag this to 75, The 15 million pounds coming in through as a bonus, more, we divide it amongst ourselves. You take 3, because it's 15. You take 5, the player takes 5, and the agency takes 5. In this transfer business, everything is possible. They can act like they are wanting the deal to happen, yet they want to rob out something from you. I tell you, these agents, all what they care about, especially for proven talents, is milking the possible money out of the situation. You understand? So, for Bruno Guimaraes, skyrocketing from 60 million to 75 to 80 to 90 to 100. Remember, Newcastle first went ahead to pose a price of 100 million pounds. You understand? And Arsenal was like, no way, we are not going anywhere near that. And they knew to it that the only way they can get a profit out of Bruno Guimaraes right now is to see to it that they get that money from Arsenal, because I think they bought him for 40 million pounds from Olympique Lyonnais from France. And that means if they bring him on, obviously it will cost, they would have gone ahead to make times 2 the amount of money that they bought him in there for you. They would have gone ahead to make a profit equaling to the amount of money they bought him from France. So what profit they are making, what a profit they are making in this summer transfer window. Last season, they sold Alexandra Isak for 120 million pounds. You understand? Times they got a profit equaling to the amount of money they paid. Right? They paid to that guy. They paid to Real Sociedad to obviously sign that guy. So they are really making some good amount of money. Anthony Gordon making a profit of is it 30 million pounds? Because I think they paid, 40 to 50 million pounds buying him from Everton. So they are selling Tonali for 100 million pounds. A player they brought in through for 60, profit of 40. Guimaraes, they're making a profit of 40. What a huge business and profit Newcastle is having this summer transfer window. And I tell you, they so far brought in 2 midfielders, I tell you, but those 2 are not even close to the amount of money they sold these ones, because there is one, Mbamba? Came in for 50 million euros. Yet they sold the other one for 120. They still have 70 million euros with them. Then you look at a guy, Bruno Guimaraes. If they make a profit of 40 million pounds, they've already made a profit on the sale of the other guy, Anthony Gordon. They're really having a very good transfer window. So what I want to let you know is simple. The side of Arsenal and Newcastle have made a progress of 75 million pounds north in there, meaning that it can go 80, it can go 85, but we need to know the realistic amount of money that verbally they've gone ahead to obviously agree. It's a verbal, not an official. So when an official bid goes in through, we'll obviously get to know. All I know is that it might be 75 plus 5 million pounds of add-ons. Obviously, that can be easily achieved by the player at Arsenal. Obviously, some of the clauses you expect, winning the Premier League, of which Arsenal are the favourites, and signing Bruno Guimaraes increases their chance of really lifting this trophy. Then, winning the Champions League, obviously, one of those can also bring in some money. Bruno Guimaraes playing like 80% of Arsenal games this season, that brings in some money. And what else? There are other clauses they can obviously include in there for you. So, all I want to let you know is that Newcastle and the side of Arsenal have made progress in the deal of Bruno Guimaraes. And we anticipate that either tonight or tomorrow, a big one might drop. And that mic drop might come in from Fabrizio Romano or David Austin. Obviously, those two. So let's leave it at that and wait to see where we will be moving on to. Then let's go to Zinedine Zidane. Today he has been named the French national team coach, and some of the words he is going to put out are: I played as a number 10, so I'm motivated to score goals. Soon they will know my style. But Zinedine Zidane goes into this job when France doesn't have a number 10. And ever since he left, France has not gone ahead, obviously, go on to have a number 10. And amongst the players available, I don't see a player, a number 10 better than ZH. Is he going to come up and obviously use ZH as a number 10 in there for you? That is really the most important bit of it all. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But Zinedine Zidane is a man who has been named and officially unveiled as the French manager. Now, one of the things that Zinedine Zidane is looking at is to see France winning the World Cup. And the Football Federation president of France has come out and said the reason as to why he came up and obviously gave this guy the job was all about him coming in through and obviously telling him that he can, hear me out, that he can do the needful and see France win, that he knows the way to make this team win. That is it. So the moment he came up and told him that, he was like, maybe we've gone ahead to obviously get in the right guy and the right guy for the job. So that he is the manager of France, and Zinedine Zidane comes in through as that man to do the job in there for you. So he was unveiled today, and with that French national team and Zinedine Zidane, you expect a lot of magic to happen in that team. And him being on the touchline only, because these players have seen him do his shit and thrive throughout, he's really everywhere. So that is all about Zinedine Zidane coming in through and putting in a very huge shift in there for you. So as it stands, that is Zinedine Zidane and the French national team president doing the needful in there for you. That is all called for. So we wait and see how things really pan out. But the big task ahead of him is how he will obviously use this golden generation of France to obviously win. Because I do believe this generation is having very many talented players, and I can call it the golden generation. I know that Thierry Henry's were there, Zinedine Zidane, Lilian Thuram, but many, Sylvain Veritord, Trezeguet, Gibril Cissé, Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, many, Didier Deschamps, Fabien Barthez, you understand? Desire Marseille. I tell you this one is really having a vast range of talented players that he needs to sit down and obviously come up with a right cast of a squad that will see him start off during what we call the Nations League. And let me see, when is he playing his first French game? That is 25th September against Turkey. You understand? Then Belgium, 28th September, Italy, 2nd October, and Belgium, 5th October. See you later. Rokani David signs out, and see you when you see me. Bye-bye.